That's my tune, man. I just love that tune. I don't know. Fat Rat. Yeah, he's I could probably show you their YouTube channel as well, couldn't I? YouTube. I go to YouTube and I go to Fat Rat. Fatrat. Fat Rat songs. Is that going to bring up the? Oh, there he is. Fat Rat. Yeah, he's I think Swedish. Fat Rat music ranges from euphoric progressive house to orchestral trap, melodic glitch pop and K-pop with heavy influence and video game music. He's enormously popular on YouTube, particularly within the gaming community, currently boasting one of the largest followings and most engaging fan bases on the web for an artist in his gene, with 10 million fans worldwide. Fat Rat's forward-thinking approach to lift copyright restrictions on his music has led him to having been featured on 29 million videos. 29 million videos, collectively accounting for 30 billion unique views on the platform. Over the years, he's become one of the most top-charting acts in dance music, having had multiple singles remain in the iTunes Top 100 for over 3 years straight. He has had his music synced to screen for popular video games like top-grossing Dota 2 and Rocket League, and has planted himself as a go-to artist for esport brands like ESL and DreamHack. Doesn't actually tell you more about where. I'm pretty sure he's Swedish. Up in that corner, Sweden, Denmark. But yeah, if you hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Good day, David. G'day, Mick. Yeah, look, I could sit here and play all his music without any fear of copyright restrictions. Because I'm calling him out, and that's the thing. He's done what no other artist has really ever attempted to do. He's gone solo. He has no agency. He has a group that works with him, because I've had a few times I've had little pieces of his music in my videos, and you get these fly-by-night startup channels who go and grab his music, right, and then they sort of claim copyright on it. Well, it happens. It happens all the time. It must be a hell of a job for Google. All I do now is I don't even get worried about it. I've got the email for their agency, right, under to sort of say this track has been blah 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 on my been claimed on my thing. I can't remember what the guy's name is, but I've got it bookmarked, and I just say, can you sort it out? And he says, no problem, we'll sort it out. Leave it with us. And then like 3 days later, it's been released. Can't go wrong. But of course, it's not the sort of music you can really put as backing tracks on your videos. Well, maybe there might be a few. Like, it's got so many bloody songs there. I've got no idea how to, if I got a day to go through every song, but this one here is quite interesting.
What's it called?
Fat Rat, yeah. Just wait for the ads to play. Electronically produced, and he has vocalists come in. Unfortunately, a lot of the good ones that I like, those subtle tunes that you can put out, have words in them, and you can't really put them as backing for videos. But if you like sort of that sort of music, go and check him out, guys. I'd highly recommend you check out the channel. What was it? He has how many? He has 6.39 million subscribers. There's 108 videos on his channel.
The Fat Rat.
Yeah.
The Fat Rat.
And all you've got to do really is make sure you annotize in your description the fact that the song name and the artist, and then you're good. Then their agency or whatever he works with, they will go and they take care of shit. They don't even have to mess with the YouTube bullshit, the YouTube claiming or disclaiming, and like other tracks I've used, I normally file a copyright dispute and it gets solved in a couple of days. But that never had a problem with his music. Yeah. Anyway, moving right along. Yes, there we go. A bit of a shout out to one of my favourite artists there. Yeah, he's gaming. Anyway, We had a bit of fun last night, didn't we, Jerry?
We sure did.
Uh,
Somebody else had fun too.
yeah, she's still got a headache.
Uh,
But I've got to say, like, I'm going to do a bit of. Okay, Alice Beauty is her channel on TikTok. If you're not subscribed to her TikTok channel, or if you have TikTok and you don't follow her on TikTok, then who are you? We don't want to know you. End of story. But this is in the taxi getting to the MRT last night. Look at what she does. This is seriously.
I don't know. You're looking pretty good there.
Looking pretty good, you reckon?
All right, let's make sure that I'm sponsored with the TikTok channel.
I thought I'd display some of her TikToks today. Just a bit of light-hearted. Yeah, by the way, it is an alcohol-free day today. G'day, Mark. How you doing? Morning, all. I see Todd has lost the whiskers. There you go.
This is it, right?
That's the one. Yep, Alice Beauty.
Very good. Alice Beauty. Come on,
One
everyone.
one of these days, she'll probably go and change her ID to Alice because she likes the name for some reason. I don't know. I like Shanya. Shanya is one of those really, really nice names. Alice is too common, and she's not common.
No.
Todd he's got more medical checkups of things this morning. Was it medical, or did he have to go and sort of do lawyer shit? Yeah, Todd's been facing one of the biggest problems we have here in Thailand, and I think I can speak openly about it. Basically, he wants to have a medical procedure done, which has developed over the last 6 months. And he's had his health insurance, I think I can't remember which company it is, but he's been with them for years. But he has 100,000 baht excess on his insurance, right, but covers everything in Thailand. It specifically states that. And it specifically states in the prospectus and in all the paperwork he's got that he would pay the excess for any medical procedure, and then the company will pay the rest. And the issue is, he's gone to say he's got 4 or 5 independent evaluations on this issue he's got to deal with, and right, so it's all verified, the fact that it's something that has happened, over the period of time, in the last 6 months, and not something that was pre-existing. But the insurance company has said, no, you have to pay the whole lot first, and then we will refund you. So he said, well, that's not what it says in the prospectus, right? It specifically states this. So he's had to go to a lawyer now, right, to get it sorted out. And finally, I heard yesterday the lawyer presented his whatever lawyers make. They write something up, and then they intercede with the company, and the company has concurred the fact that they are at fault, and he can now proceed with the procedures, and they will take care of everything. But seriously, you guys, if you have the health insurance, look, I'm with a Thai company here, although I'm in pretty good health, I don't ever see I'm ever going to use it. It's one of those sort of things you're going to have to worry about over here, is the fact that will they actually pay the medical insurance? I don't know. Anybody else? Anybody else had run-ins like that out there in the big wide world of health insurance issues? I've been reading a few Facebook posts recently of people having medical issues here in Thailand. And similar types of problems. I think it's an ongoing problem with foreigners here in Thailand.
It depends on the company you're with.
Mm-hmm.
We have a friend who had an issue with the company. It took him quite a while to get it resolved. No names of company or friend. I had an issue. I have inpatient only, and in Thailand that means you stay in overnight and you get insurance coverage. Outpatient is very cheap here. But I had an outpatient procedure at the medical clinic. I put a video on it 3 months ago or so. It's strictly outpatient. They did it in the clinic, and I left that day. I submitted it, and 5 days later I was paid. It was about 22,000 baht, so 700 US. I was surprised, but I specifically went with this particular company because they have a reputation for paying.
Right.
And I got paid for an outpatient procedure. Now, it was a minor operation. It wasn't a checkup. It was a minor operation. They paid. I was very happy.
And who's the company you're with?
AIA.
AIA, yeah, I've heard they're pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with the same company that does my. I'm with the same company that does my motorcycle insurance, and I have to pull my paperwork. I can never remember the name. I never use it. It's one of those things. Anytime I ever look at those things is when it comes to visa renewal, where they ask me to pay some money, and I go, here you go, here's the money, and they send it out, and it's all done, stamp, and give it to the immigration, and all good. That's the only reason why I have the insurance. I've never had health insurance in Australia because we had a reasonably effective, public health system over in Australia. But that doesn't cover you for anything in Thailand at all. So blah blah blah. Anyway, what do we got? Sounds like a typical insurance company trying to not pay. Yeah, and the things I've heard over the years is things like people going for like they've had accidents. And then the insurance company flatly refuses. They said, well, they're not on our list and things like that. It's one of those sort of things you're going to have to really, really be careful of, especially if you're planning to live here. I suppose you only ever hear of the bad stories as well. That's the way the media circus works. I'm glad he's got it sorted out, but I think he's either got to go and have a checkup or he's got to go and sort out something with that, the insurance, something like that. But he had an appointment at 11:30 in Pattaya there. So being Pattaya, I think is probably the actual lawyer who's gone to see, to pick up something or something or other. Anyway, and I think I can say that. I didn't give too many details out about everything. trying to just give people a bit of a snapshot of life here in Thailand is always a challenge about, what you can say. Like I think Paul on our line group last night, he was sort of saying, can I have Fern's details? Well, no, that's an invasion of privacy. You can't give out details that you have personal knowledge of, to somebody else you might be a friend with. It's inappropriate. But I don't think the world functions like that anymore. And I said to him, well, in my marketing school, if I actually introduce you to Fern and edify you correctly, you have 100% better chance of her taking up the offer rather than me just saying, oh, my friend Paul's going to come around and see. Oh, come on, Paul, just get out of your comfort zone and come and meet the girl, and I can make you look big. He's only a small, entrepreneur. I can make him look 10 times bigger by the edification process. This is what you got taught in Amway school, by the way. Yeah, don't worry. Jerry used to be an Amway distributor as well. I think we talked about one of your sponsors was a serial killer or something.
Someone I sponsored was a serial killer. Yeah.
Oh.
Luckily, it was later on.
Yeah. A little bit of fun here. Just a little bit of, we'll just break up the monotony here. Love the girl. That's Bamika as well, by the way. She's single. I've got to say that every time I get her in a picture. She's single. She wants a boyfriend. I never get to go out with the girls when they're doing this shit. They don't invite me.
That looks like Tiki when Tiki's out with her friend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't get a music strike. But anyway, I've got monetization turned off, so it shouldn't be an issue. She's my babe. One of the worst things about shooting that vertical format is keeping her in frame, with the normal letterbox format, it's easy because they can move around, but on that vertical, I still can't do TikTok shit. party at our place. And Bummick is just a crazy girl as well. Anyway, and moving right along. So what have we got? Sean escapes. Oh no, Mick sounds like the insurance. Sean escapes. I had to prepay a major surgery in Thailand and file to reimburse. Took 100 days, and they lost the paperwork 3 times. Okay, well we're going to call these guys out. What was the insurance company there, Sean? We want to make sure people don't go with them. Jerry, do you deal with your insurance company directly when you pay for it, or do you go through a broker?
Go through a friend and a broker. Our friend B is our broker, and she's been handling all of our friends who have AIA, ACEs.
Right.
I recommend her. I'm eventually going to put out a video with her on it. I just have to figure out how to do it the right way. I've done it twice, and both times I wasn't happy.
Well, when I get to my renewal process around, I think August, they send the prospectus out for renewal. I might just give you a bell and sort of see if we can get a comparable deal. As I said, I haven't had to file anything, and I'm in reasonably good health, but I do ride a motorcycle, and that's one thing that you've got to consider. Of course,
Waza. At our age, we need to be protected because at any bad time, something bad can happen. So we have to be smart, or like some people do, self-insure, have the money put aside for it. Either one, but we've got to be prepared.
Yeah, so I've got health insurance, but what I also do is that this card here, my Citibank card, which, we'll talk about Citibank shortly, it's on my desk. And if I was laid up in hospital, Sonia knows to come to the desk and grab that card and go to the insurance, go to the company, and just, there it is. It's got $25,000 credit on it. And, it'll take care of everything and I'll deal with it later. But yeah, it's just that's my get out of jail free card sort of thing. Just sits on my desk. I've got health insurance as well, but I also have an excess.
For me, since we're on the subject real quickly, I have the AIA insurance card. So if something happens, I just show the hospital the insurance card, and pretty much every hospital will honor this and will not charge me. They'll go directly to AIA. So it won't come out of pocket. The outpatient came out of pocket, but anything inpatient, I just show the AIA card. I'm done.
I think I'd just quickly just walk away from the desk there. My secret yellow pouch. Okay. Oh, LMG Insurance is my company. Yeah, I've got a LMG card. Never had to use it. So it's a Universal Plus Visa plan. It's got all my passport numbers on it and everything else, and type of insurance and everything else. Maximum per year, $3.5 million per year. Outpatient, $2,000 per day. Blah blah. I need to put my double focus light things on.
You just said you have outpatient $2,000 per day.
Yeah.
So if you go to a clinic, a doctor, whatever, for outpatient, you're covered.
No, but I've also got an excess. So.
Okay.
So my excess would negate that. It's anything over 300,000 baht at the moment. What I'm looking for is probably a smaller excess for the same fees that I'm paying.
Yeah. I have a zero deductible, just as an FYI. But AIA is not cheap.
But what are you paying, if you want to divulge that?
I don't mind. It just went up this year. I have 15 million baht coverage worldwide. So even in the U.S., I'm covered 15 million baht, which in the U.S. is about 400,000.
Right.
And for the next 5 years, it'll be 112,000 baht, so about 3,000 US. And that'll stay level from my ages 66 to 70. Then 71 to 75, it'll go up again. It will stay level for 5 years. That's the way they do it.
Yeah.
It was 79,000 baht last year. for 15 million baht coverage. I originally had 5 million baht. Because I travel a lot, and the travel insurance covers me for 90 days a year out of this country with the full coverage, it made sense to get the 15 million baht policy.
Yeah. Well, again, you got to look at it for the needs. And again, like I said, my policy, I'm only paying 37,000 baht a year, but that's with the 300,000 baht excess. I asked them, is there one with less excess? I don't mind paying more. Something like Todd's doing for 100,000. He's got 100,000 excess. That would suit me better, as I get older. But they don't do that policy. So, that's the sort of things I'm sort of juggling around, to see what would work for me. Mark, my missus had a procedure we paid first at the hospital, then was reimbursed within 10 minutes also, AIA, right? Fair enough, okay. Having met Fern, she wouldn't bite off your head. She wouldn't bite off your, bite your head off. Well, she's a lovely girl, but yeah.
I'm not going there.
We're not going there. Okay, we're not going there. The vertical format should be banned in my... Yes, look, I have the same opinion there, Mick. The vertical format videos, I've tried it. I do have my TikTok, but I haven't put anything up there for 3 months or 4 months. It's a completely different paradigm to shooting, and now YouTube allow you to go to your videos you've produced and then take snapshots out and stitch it together for a vertical format. It's getting more and more confusing. I'm too old for this shit. Sean, Blue Shield, I think, is what they're called now. Okay, so that's your company, big employer insurance. Okay, right. Jorgen, g'day, Jorgen. Sorry, it's a bit of a late to say hello there, but good to have you along. David, I used a Luma as a broker. Okay, right, good. Okay, so health insurance is something you have to consider here, especially as you get older. The one thing I did like about my policy is they will insure me till I'm 100 years old. I don't know what you're supposed to do when you're 101 and you can't even walk anywhere. How are you supposed to deal with your visa then? Like, seriously.
I'm telling you right now, when you turn 100, we're having a hell of a big party. I'm telling you right now.
Everybody in wheelchairs.
It don't matter. We're still having that party. I'll be, 104 or something? Oh,
yeah.
Well,
but listen, go on.
You do know that when I turn 70, we're having the big party. Yeah,
we're having a big... Mr. Slippery, can I join you? You look, the Discord links there. You can come in and say hello, Mr. Slippery. I need to happy to have people come and add their voice to the panel. I think people have used the term panel, right? So we do get a few people dropping in and out every so often. So you're all quite welcome to jump in. Make sure you've got a microphone working or using some sort of earbuds so we don't get any cross-talk and feedback loop. But yeah, what did I did? Yeah, so we went out to karaoke last night. If there is a video, I've got to somehow I've got 46 minutes or something. I've got to cut down to 20 minutes, and I've got a few little snippets of info in there that I thought I'd share with people about retirement. Because one of the things you got to understand with the group last night, most of those people there are under 50 years old, and they are retired. Yeah. Effectively retired. Well, they don't have to work. Is more the point. I don't think you really call it retirement. They just don't have to work, right? So you got Psycho. He's about a year younger than Sonia, right? 38. Or 30, it could be 39 now for all I know. Sonia turns 40 this year. That's a party. So, he doesn't have to work. But he finds that younger age, what we do find is they start to crawl the walls a little bit because, they're not like us, we used to play cowboys and Indians with sticks and shit like that when we were young, and we know how to entertain ourselves any which way. But the younger generations, find entertainment, and keeping yourself occupied can be a bit of a challenge. And then we got, then Nomo with Peter. He's in the same situation. He's 42 years old now, and he's effectively doesn't have to work. But now he's actually looking for work because it's driving him around the bend. Trolls, on the other hand, is he's an IT, what would you call it? A guy who creates startups.
Entrepreneur. Well, he's an
Yeah,
entrepreneur.
he's an entrepreneur. Yeah, so he's done 2 or 3 startups already. He's working on a new one. He wants to bring me on it as well, which I don't know how that's going to work. So, well, what role do you like? All I am, I'm a guy that's spent 30 odd fucking years in the industry, and there's not much that can slip past me without me sort of making questions. Why would you do that, or why would you do this when this would be an easier way to do it? What do you call that? What sort of guy is that these days?
Pain in the ass.
Pain in the ass guy. Yeah, exactly.
And his answer is because it makes money.
Yeah, because it makes money.
That'll be his answer.
So his latest venture is a new underlying layer 2 network technology that allows you to trace callback hacks on your system. Which means when you get a DDoS attack and things like that, he's got a system that he's designed that allows you to trace the source, right, and things like that. Or it's the best way to explain it. It's one of those niche fields that, if it all comes together properly, it's going to be a big money spinner. And as he said, look, I'm quite happy to share the wealth for people to come in and help us out. It's fair enough. Well, what can I help you with? I think he's asking for $5 million to hand over the project as a venture to, whatever. That's
$5 million baht or $5 million
US dollars. Well, that's it. He only creates it, and then he hands over the IP to whoever takes it on board.
Oh, so you mean that's a selling profit?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
that's the I don't know. I don't know enough about that stuff. I know index funds. That's what I know. Jerry was telling me last night about some stocks. What was the stock you were telling me about last night that went up?
Super micro computer.
Yeah. So I used to use super microcomputers in my kit back in the early 2000s. Very nice kit, and it was very well unknown there, but highly effective, highly reliable. Top end, like they were, technically superior to the mainstream like HP, Dell, and who else was there? HP, Dell, and there was a third major out there, Intel, were the 3 majors that would be distributing to corporate compute power. But we were using this boutique company out of Melbourne, who specialised their kit based on Supermicro architecture, and we were very, very happy with them. We had a really good relationship with them. But as when we got bought out by Synovate, one company merged with another company, and then of course you got the head banging between the 2 companies. Who do you use? And they wanted something a little bit more higher profile rather than some 20-man operation out of Melbourne. They wanted something that had an international flavour, and so we went and switched from that into Lenovo. That's who we went to for Lenovo. But Lenovo didn't really do servers, so I got to keep the server architecture at Supermicro for a couple of years, but the desktop architecture went to Lenovo. And then after that, when we got bought out again we got merged into Aegis, right? And Aegis sort of then come on and said, no, we have to have, tier 1, blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes. It's just one of those sort of things. It's just the way industry works, So we from there, we went to Dell. And we formed a pretty good relationship with Dell over those following 8 years. I used to get into their workshop, and I used to hammer their systems to find out what would work the best, and they couldn't believe the sort of stuff I would put the testing process I would put the computers through, because as a sort of we do high end SQL database stuff. And I need the IOPS to make the stuff work. I've got this testing procedure to test the IOPS, right? He says, this is your design, this is what I need, this is the IOPS I'm getting here, and you're telling me you want that? No, let's just reconfigure that, dude, And but that's not the way we do it. And I said, well, that's the way I want it done. And of course, they bowed down and said, "Okay, we'll do it your way." And they were surprised the better performance we got out of my architecture. You know?
That's what kept you employed for many
That's
years.
what kept me employed. Yes. Thanks, Jorgen, for the little shout out there. Very good for a chocolate. Well, chocolate for Shania. Yeah. Well, yeah. Make her fat again. Got a little video from last night. Shania is pretty good at the whole karaoke thing. She's a show off.
Yeah. You guys get along well in that area. Too bad you can't really show the size of the place, but there you go.
Yeah. Well,
A little bit.
that's Peter's girlfriend. Yeah. But yeah, it was a fun night last night. There will be a video comes out. It'll come out next week. I even told the owner there that here's my card. We'll give your place a bit of a shout out. You might get some more customers. Oh, there we go. Geez, that took a long time, Mr. Streamlabs, for the little bing. Really, it's getting longer and longer. One article did. Yeah, she's good to have fun. Yeah. An article that did come up on my thing here: taxpayers perplexed by mysterious incomes, because we've got this issue with the whole foreigner tax, banner that's looming overhead that hasn't been worked out yet. No, I thought this was interesting. Taxpayers perplexed by mysterious income entries. This is Thai people experiencing the new taxation system here in Thailand. A prominent company named InfoFed clarified unusual income sources that surfaced when taxpayers submitted their tax forms online, urging explanations from the Revenue Department. So they've filed their taxation claims or taxation refunds or whatever they do over here. I guess it's the same thing. They've got mysterious incomes of 10,000. Was it? One was saying 9,000 baht for freelance work, and again, when we get around to this taxation thing here, next year, if you have to qualify for it, make sure you go over it with a fine-tooth comb. Is my only suggestion there. I think technology is one of those things. Technology. Thailand wants to be a technology hub, and they're rapidly taking on technology, which is full of holes on a security aspect. And always double check everything with anything you're doing online here with Thailand, because I think they need some serious oversight on how they do things, because we've had 3 or 4 recent breaches of security breaches through that's through a number of different sources. I think one of them was immigration or something like that got breached, and personal details divulged, and it's on the dark web. If you don't really know how to secure yourself online, hit. There we go. That's Jorgen's second one. Thank you again, Jorgen. Look, I did find a way to get rid of that heart thing, so I can actually read messages properly now on the screen. Thailand is vying for being a technology hub, right, for Southeast Asia. From my point of view, they are seriously lacking in some understanding of what can really go wrong. But again, if they want to pay me 300,000 baht a month, I might come and work for them. As long as they can sort out my visa and work permits and everything else, I'm quite happy to come and work for you for 300,000 baht a month, and I'll tell you how it should be done. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. I have a price. I always have a price,
I think 200,000 would be a reasonably good number, also.
Yeah, it's good on the low side, But you go in high, and then you come to an agreement. I think the lowest I'd go would be 180,000 a month. I already know the numbers. You got to know how to barter, don't you?
Of course.
But would I ever really could I ever work here in Thailand? Like seriously, the whole traffic grind and everything else. Oh my God, seriously.
dealing with folks that really don't speak your language and or don't have a real strong work ethic, it's
Yeah.
not something that would be interesting to me.
Well, work ethic's one of the things that I've been trained in. It's about how leadership works and, getting down and dirty with them and doing it with them as opposed to, pointing a finger and saying doing this and doing that. And what I do, yeah, the way I know Thai culture, when you get down and dirty with them and do it with them and lead by example and things like that, they get on board very, very quickly. Right, no matter what you're doing. But again, it's just it's the culture here. But yeah, it's just one of those sort of things. I said I've had 7 years of relaxation, and I'm at that point, even at 63 years old, that I entertain the fact that okay, I've gone twitching now. I do Twitch 5 days a week to be a little bit more what do you call it, programmed. Bit more full on what you do, fill your day and have it all scheduled. And it's good. I feel good to be contributing and building a new community. It'll take some time, Hopefully I'll make partner in 2 years and, make a bit extra income that way. As long as I can keep it under the $18,000 a year threshold, I don't have to worry about tax. I'm still got to worry about how that works. But yeah, 300k a month. Okay, then I work too. Same as now. Is that what you're getting paid now? Is it, Jorgen? Really? Pointing your finger and saying that is the wrong way is like to there. Yeah, exactly. You can't do that, and you got to know the culture enough. And the best way to do it is to work with them, and lead by example, which is what I learnt through my leadership training through Amway and different technical courses that I did. I have none of this paperwork. I have absolutely zero paper. I was just we'll talk about the banking in a minute because that's relevant. Yeah. I do want to sort of also okay. It's the 24th of February. It's a full moon. It's Maha Buddha Day, right? Which is one of the 5 official Buddhist days where you cannot drink alcohol, but they're giving free Bangkok Expressway this Saturday. So get out there and burn that gunk out, man. That's a Bill Cosby, 200 mph, He goes in, to get his Ferrari fixed, and he says, it's not working, man. What's it? And Bob says, look, man, it's a Ferrari, man. You got to burn the gunk out, man. You got to get out there and do 100 mile an hour. And he says, where in New York am I going to do 100 mile an hour? And he says, any side street. Got to burn the gunk out, man. So get on the freeway and burn the gunk out. Dowlo, g'day Dowlo, how you doing? The workmen I see in the Land of Smiles swan around doing half-assed jobs. Well, this is something that, I see it everywhere. But again, there are other examples where they really get down and do it really good. And as I said, I've had a couple of outages here on 3BB, and it's fixed nice and promptly, not like it used to get fixed in Australia, And so, it's different things for different courses, I guess. It's called an Italian tune-up, is it, Mick? Okay, fair enough, we know that. Just recapping the alcohol-free days. Hold on a second.
You really got
Hello?
Hi, my name is Ian from NAB, calling from the City Migration Contact Centre at NAB. Is now a good time to talk?
No, actually, I'm live on YouTube right now, and would be inappropriate to talk about the things we need to talk about. Okay.
No problems. What time would be better to call back?
You did sort of suggest weekdays, so I would suggest Monday.
All right, no problems at all. I'll leave a note to call back on Monday.
Okay, thanks very much.
No problem. Thanks and have a good day.
Okay, you too. Well, that's not something I didn't expect. But anyway, moving right along, yeah. The alcohol-free days, alcohol sales not allowed on the 24th of February and also on the 26th of February, which is the actual official holiday day. So, yeah, no drinking for 2 days. So stock up tomorrow.
Drink coffee.
Drink coffee.
Drink enough of that stuff.
And we do, don't we? Yes. Get rid of the
Yeah.
ads. Yes.
Hey, that was good music, by the way.
Hmm?
That was good music, by the way.
What music?
On your phone.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah. That's my ringtone. Yes.
Yeah, the thing's awesome.
You really got me. You really got me. Don't worry, I'm not doing karaoke now.
If you can play the bass on that, I can play the guitar.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. And Dowlow, our 3BB has loss of signal rang this morning and got straight through to support, and they're sending someone out to fix it today. Great service. Yeah, I said, invariably when I have had problems with 3BB, it's just a phone call to their service department. I usually get through to an English-speaking thing when you press 9. Right, they say they'll escalate it, and within 15 minutes the problem's solved. You know, and the ones where it's a cable down, they promptly inform me the fact that we'll get it. We got somebody right on it, and it's usually about an hour to 2 hours later that they sort it out. But it happens so rarely, and not only that, there was an issue last year where we had, because we got a new Moo barn being built about 1.5 kilometres up the road, right? I'm pretty sure all those B double trucks that they're running down that narrow roadway keep on knocking the poles down, right, and pulling everything out. But yeah, so we had a couple of major outages for about, it's like 8 hours for one day, and then following 10 hours another day. It was just a spate of outages. Don't know what they were doing, but they actually refunded a proportion of my monthly fee. My monthly payment, which is 749 baht a month. Yeah, 749 baht a month. I'll just quickly run that up there, just to give you a bit of a snapshot. Make all those Australians jealous. Look at that.
Holy cow. Is that wired or wireless?
Well, I'm wired to my router.
Okay.
But just an example, what's that work out to be? So this is what I pay for, and if I go, get rid of that. Could we just go to converter? So I pay $7.49 per month, $31.80. Yeah, NBN in Australia stands for no bloody network. And they pay seriously, to get something like in Australia, paying a couple of $100 a month as a business client. They don't get that shit, and you don't get this sort of option on the personal levels, not with their fibre to the box, and then you got a last mile haul with some sort of VDSL link or something like that. Christ. Yes. They need to learn something about what time they're doing right. But, again, we got an incumbent company called Telstra over there who seem to want to screw everybody over. But yeah, you've got to love the internet here in Thailand, seriously. Anyway, moving right along. Yeah, so the last thing I was going to talk about was NAB. You know how we had that issue last year where my SMS for my authority to transfer money wasn't working. It took them like 3 weeks to sort it out. I was getting nowhere very fast with Citibank, because nobody actually works in Citibank. It's all call centres, and they have no authority to do anything. I went through the Australian, what's it called, banking process, that's a third party ombudsman sort of esque process where I had to file a case for them. Filed that case, within 24 hours later I had Citibank coming back to me and getting right on the problem. Couldn't get that service through Citibank, but once they got the financial authority involved, mate, that's it, they're right on the case. But it still took them 2 weeks to fix it. somehow the SMS messages weren't coming through. It was a problem on their end, some sort of new take-up of technology, and it only gets tested here and there. They don't test it around the world, and obviously something was come adrift. In my case now, right, I'm transferring, well, Citibank have been bought out by NAB. And so I've been waiting for all the paperwork to come through, and I've finally got my Visa debit card came through, the right number, and blah blah blah, and again, going through KYC, know your customer, verifying who I am, so on and so forth. And the technology that we're using in these sectors is quite snappy, like, I think one of them there I had to sit there with my webcam on, hold me, with me in the picture, with holding my passport, and then another webcam and the passport, they verify, so they can see a live feed that I am who I am before they can conduct any financial, authority on my behalf. Not NAB. Like, seriously, it's like talking to somebody in 1980. I can't believe it. This is one of the four major banks in Australia, and it's like talking to somebody, right, from the 1980s. Well, we can't do this. I can't open your account details, right? Well, I don't even like. Although the only thing that I've got on my side is I've called an Australian number which is on my Visa card, right? Hopefully, I am talking to somebody at NAB in Australia, but I already know that I'm not talking to anybody in Australia at all. I'm talking to somebody in Pakistan. And of course they have no authority to open my details. So we got this impasse of who's who, right? Well, I called NAB and I'm talking to somebody in Pakistan, and you're trying to verify that I am who I am. Well, how about we could just go to some sort of third, webcam process? They had that in Citibank, right? And they even have voice recognition in Citibank. I've gone to NAB, and what's happened is all my details have been passed from Citibank to NAB, and I suppose that's supposed to be done electronically. What nobody has checked is the fact that I've checked my account details, and it looks like my phone number from my bank, or my number that I've registered with Citibank, has been transferred. It's been transferred as XXXXXX860 or something like that. So they're trying to send SMS messages to an XXXXX. Well, that's not my number, is it? The number is correct in Citibank, and you're supposed to transfer my details to NAB so I can continue banking uninterrupted, which actually the more the money gets transferred automatically today. And I'm going, Jesus Christ. Anyway, that was NAB. I didn't expect that call to come through now. The email sort of said in the next 2 days, right? And I'm thinking, well, next 2 business days. Well, they're going to call you on a Saturday morning in the middle of a live stream. Well, there you go. But anyway, so what I effectively was required to do, they sent me an email to say what I need to do. I need to get a notarized copy of my passport. So I did book an appointment for next Friday in the embassy, right? And then I had a bit of an argument with them and said, now the cost incurred by me to go to the embassy and the cost for the embassy to do the notarization, that will be fully refunded, will it not? Since it's your error? And she says, no, it won't. And I said, could you go and check with your supervisors, please? Because I do know how the banking system works. My sister was in Commonwealth Bank for 20 bloody years, right? And I do know how it's required, the requirements and what goes on, You're not talking to an imbecile here. Right, and anyway, she went away to the supervisor, came back, yes, well, I now can confirm any of those costs will be fully refunded. Oh, Jesus, like talking to, it is crazy. This is banking, It should be the slickest operation out there, but no, we can't afford to employ people in Australia. It's too expensive. But they still pay those managing directors of the banks like 7-figure salaries. How about we employ some people in Australia to manage this stuff, and stop doing all these high roller, makes it. It's ridiculous. Night, but how you doing? What are you wearing tonight? ICID, your card number's all I need to, is 3 security number on the back, please. Yes, yeah, I think I made it shaky enough you couldn't read that, no matter how good your webcam is. um, Jorgen's Frang thing, they get the Woola, I can't drink a day. Yeah, okay, yeah. To make sure I didn't miss anything there. Yeah, but so, yeah, anyway, hopefully they'll get sorted out. But what my ace in the hole is the fact that Todd, as we've talked about before, ex-military officer, he is also an authority to do what they call notarized documents. So I sent him a copy of my passport, he notarized it, sent it back to me, and I've emailed that off to him. Plus also, they sort of say we can't SMS you, but I sent him a screenshot of SMSs received from NAB. And I'll actually show you the damn thing. Where is it? I go back to my photos. I got this. Right, now let me bring that full screen so you can read it properly. Right, now, this is something that I received supposedly from NAB. The reason why I say it was NAB, because it says, as requested, your NAB Internet SMS. So I have to assume that it's affiliated with NAB. But how can you even prove, how do you know that that is from NAB? T-Cloud has no relevance to NAB. And but what I've sent this off to them, I said, well, on the 16th of December, you sent me these SMS messages to my phone, right? And on the 12th of February, you sent me this security code on my, of course, that security code is really irrelevant now, but you sent me this security code. So you can send me SMS messages. The problem is you just got the wrong freaking phone number. No, it's like talking to somebody, from the 19th century. It really is. But yeah, so banking. Don't get me started on banking. It just drives me around the bend. It really does. But yeah, anyway, moving right along. Gendel, like the days of our lives. Yes, it is. So you'll actually get to meet Jen. We're going out for, well, at the moment, tentatively, Jen and his wife and Shania and I were going to go out to the Secret 3 Cafe and Bistro on the water next Wednesday for lunch. We had lunch last Wednesday with a couple of our Thai friends, which I was sort of excluded from about 80% of the conversation, apart from the extra bits I heard, in Thai. But you'll get an idea what it's like to go to lunch with Thais versus to go to lunch with people France. A bit of a comparison. But yeah, so you'll get to meet Jen. Hopefully he has a shave by then. God, he was looking scruffy on Friday when he was doing the live stream. But yeah, get to meet his wife. Jen actually has a house, I believe, here about 5 kilometres away from us. So he's a local lad. He'll have to, when he comes to live here permanently, he'll only have to deal with Nakhon Pathom into immigration as opposed to Bangkok immigration. That'd be a boon. Oh, there's Eva. G'day, Eva. How you doing? Let's enjoy, yes. What was it? The irony of trying to get issues solved is that you first have to prove you're not a robot by identifying all the zebra crossing. Yeah, no, the best one is the finding the Klingon bird of prey on a star field, because that's, if you're a Star Trekkie, the Klingon bird of prey has a cloaking and you've got no idea what square it's in. But anyway. I do have a thing with Nightbot. It invests me. So ever since they got away from paying you cash every week, the banks have had too much. Yes, I can quite agree with that, Mick. It's not a happy time with banking. They're quite happy to take your receive money from anybody you give your bank details to, because it goes to them, like all the test transfers and I got a drop from YouTube income, in the bank as well, so that all worked. I don't expect to see a drop from Twitch for at least 12 months, but anyway. Let's enjoy, and of course Jen and Eva are sort of currently hanging out in Pattaya, How's the alcohol-free day doing for you guys? You picked the worst time the first time in the year to come. We've got 2 alcohol-free days. That's going to drive you guys crazy. I hope you stocked up last night. Jogging, me and Nightbot will go. Have a nice day. Oh dear, oh dear. Doing well. See, you stocked up well last night, or they've got a some sort of dispensation for people in Pattaya that they can drink on a Buddhist Lent day. I have no idea how it works down there. It's a completely different country. The hotel said they'll supply us. Yeah, just like their little shop out the front of our Moo barn. If I want a beer, I can just go down there. It won't be a problem. But yeah, don't try to buy beer from 7-Eleven. They think they locked the cabinets. Yeah, mum and pop shops still sell it, you know. Anybody who can, they'll sell alcohol as long as there's no chance of the police raiding them. That's the way it works, isn't it? They've got to love Thailand. It's got to love Thailand. It's a great place. Anyway, what else we got to talk about? I think we've covered everything. Yeah, anyway, so I was actually quite surprised. As I said, they get a phone call from them. You know, like I only received the email from them this morning that what was it? Primary. What time did that come through? 6:35 a.m. So the email came through when they read my email to them, where I sent off the thing that Todd signed, and Todd even hit me up and he just said, reading through what they sent me for what the requirements were, he feels that it might have to still be done through the embassy. Thankfully I can go and cancel the embassy. Well, I'll cancel the embassy one once we get things sorted out. But yeah, he just felt the fact that, you know, it probably needed some sort of official statement, but they accepted his, you know, military number and everything else, and said, I'm now verified as who I am, so it's all good. And they've got my phone number, so it's all good. All we need to do is get the damn details. There's 2 things I've noticed that I haven't got. One is the phone numbers come through as all X's with the last 3 digits of my phone number. And the other thing is somehow I got a 5 added to my address. I don't really have a clue where that's come from. So, you know, it's 118/18 Moo 13, 5 Parami Village. Where'd the 5 come from? Somebody's added a 5 to it somehow. How does that work? You know, it's supposed to be done electronically. You know, I can't imagine anybody typing these things. They're going to get probably, you know, 10,000 customers transferring from Citibank to. I don't imagine anybody typing that shit in. So, how does the computer get that wrong? You know, again, I'm a computer engineer. It doesn't get wrong unless, of course, you've got bad coders. Yeah. Perhaps you're here until the 28th of March. Hopefully we can catch up. Well, we've got the 1st of March. We've got our meetup. Come to Bangkok, Dalo, for our meetup. We've got a whole bunch of people turning up. And the 4th of March, we've got a Bar Citizen where Jen and Evo are going to hang out with Shafti and a few others here from Thailand. We're Star Citizen fans. Yeah. Okay, take it easy, Jen, and stay cool and don't drink too much. Anyway, we are wrapping up things. We've got to reconfigure and go live on Twitch in a few minutes. And don't forget, I do have a schedule on Twitch, if I just bring that up. You know, if you want to catch me live anytime, my schedule is listed now. So there you go. You can see my schedule. And I think I'll just turn that off. So you know, I'm quite reachable for anything you want to talk about. It doesn't cost you anything, but you know, somewhere along the line I expect you to buy me a beer, but you know. And Jerry, stop buying my beers. I went to pay my bill last night and she said, you already paid it. What the? I can't win.
I told you I made a tiny bit of money in the stock market. I might as well blow it. Okay.
He's doing this all the time. It's like this, you know, one-upmanship. You know, every time we go out, who's gonna pay the bill first, so we don't lose track of who's in credit.
No. Remember, you didn't go somewhere else this coming week, so.
Yes, he wants me to go to Pattaya, you know, next Wednesday. You know, and unfortunately, I've got things happening here on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and now Tuesday, so I can't be in Pattaya. But yeah, guys, as I said, go and do the float chamber, the Zenergized float chamber. You liked it, didn't you? You thought that was great,
It
didn't
was
you?
good, yeah.
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 Is
I
it-
almost drowned the first time. I didn't tell you, but it was good. It was slippery.
but it really is an experience. It's something that not many people will get to enjoy, and it really is a sort of if you're in that sort of mind frame, it really is a bit of an out of world experience. You know. Yeah, Zenergize. I could give you a link on thing here. It'd probably take me longer than it takes me to close the stream. It's 1 minute past my hour. I'm out of here. Okay, where are we? Where's the closing stream? Where's Stephen to remind me it's closing time? Closing stream. Peace out, guys. Great to have you along, and we'll catch up with you guys next week or on Twitch. Just hit me up.